Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm taking a look at the Los Angeles Rams and going over whether or not they should consider signing running back Adrian Peterson. But before we end that topic, just a quick question for those of you viewing. Where do you rank Jalen Ramsey amongst corners in the league? You think he's the best, second best, top three, top five? Wherever you have him, tell me and I'll give my answer at the end. We'll see how we match up. But getting straight into it, if you didn't hear, starting running back for the Rams, Cam Akers, sophomore year, it was going to be for him. A lot of people expected it to be a breakout year for him. I thought it was going to be a breakout year for him. Went down with a season-ending Achilles injury, and now they're kind of in a pickle what to do at the running back position. They got a pretty solid backup in Darrell Henderson, and I could see them turning, passing the baton to him, but there's other free agents out there to at least consider. Reunion with Todd Gurley, see what Le'Veon Bell's got left, see what Adrian Peterson's got left. I've done a video on Gurley and Bell. It's Adrian Peterson's turn. Personally, if you could get Adrian Peterson at a league minimum or veteran minimum, whatever you want to call it, $700,000, $800,000, a $1.1 million deal, a incentive deal, something really cheap, I would be considering it. If I'm Adrian Peterson and the Rams call me, I'm definitely saying yes. I don't have a job right now. Not that Adrian Peterson, I'm sure he's not eating scraps off the road. I'm sure he's made millions of dollars. He's fine, but I'm just saying, I think he wants to keep playing and he's not signed to a team, so that's already a job. B, he's going to be able to compete for a ring. The Rams have Super Bowl aspirations. Cam Akers or not, I still think they can make the NFC Championship. So that's two pretty good reasons, just a job and a competitive job. And C, this could be the one team that really, I don't want to say turns Adrian Peterson's career around. The dude's 36, but, lets him go out on a high note. He might be able to have one of his best years in the last 3 years. Last year being with Detroit, past 2 years being in Washington. None of those teams gave him a winning chance. None of those teams really gave him a great offensive line, a great system, a great scheme. With the Rams, though, an innovative Sean McVay, they could execute Adrian Peterson to his strong suits. In 2018, Peterson still put up 1,000 yards. I know that was 3 years ago. 33 years old versus 36-year-olds is a huge difference, especially for running backs. But still, I think the circumstances are better today than it was in Washington. And he's still averaging over the past 3 years just slightly over 4 yards a carry. I don't think that's too bad. 4 yards an attempt's pretty good for a 36-year-old man. And then you combine that with a pretty solid offensive line, a quarterback that doesn't need a power back to control the team and run the team. They don't need Derrick Henry to carry them or Dalvin Cook or Christian McCaffrey. They need a guy that can just take the pressure off of them from down to down. Like I said, a good O-line, Stafford and Sean McVay to really work to Adrian Peterson's strong suits. I think it could be a pretty good teamwork. Again, I'm not saying they're going to sign Adrian Peterson and now he's the top 10 running back in the league again, but I think they'll be having a better situation. And then if anything, if Darrell Henderson wins a starting job, he got a third down back in Adrian Peterson. It just brings a little bit more depth to the team, some more experience, some more knowledge, just one extra wild card factor. On the Adrian Peterson, like I said, I'm saying yes. I want that ring. I want to still play football, and I want to go out on a high note. This might be the best team I get to play with. This might be the last season I ever play. I want him to be with a good team. I want it to give me good numbers. So if I'm him, I'm saying yes. And if I'm the Rams, I'm of course going to explore my options. I'm going to look at even my 7th round rookie, Jake Funk. How's he looking? I'm going to look at Darrell Henderson. I'm going to look at Le'Veon Bell. I'm going to look at Todd Gurley. I'm going to look, are there trade options, Not that, they're not going to trade for any big market. They're not going to trade for Henry or McCaffrey, but they could trade for, I don't know, maybe a rookie or a sophomore guy, maybe the Colts have a really deep backfield. Nyheim Hines, Marlon Mack, what are those guys costing? If they could get him for a 4th, here. Kareem Hunt, doubt the Browns want to part with him. That might cost the Rams a 2nd round pick, and they already don't have a 1st, but I'm still going to look at my options. I'm not saying the Rams need to or should trade for a running back in any means. I don't think they should, actually. I'm just saying I would be exploring my options if I am the Rams, between trading, between free agents, and between Henderson. Obviously, Adrian Peterson, I don't want to say is competing with Le'Veon Bell and Todd Gurley, but it is definitely somewhat of a competition if he's trying to get to the Rams. I don't want to say I wouldn't worry about Todd Gurley, but I do think Todd Gurley has a screw you mentality towards the Rams. I don't think he wants anything to do with them. I do think there's some bad tension there. It didn't exactly part the best ways, and I'm not saying he's wrong for it. I get it. He was released. He's kind of fired, you could say. So I don't see them reuniting, and I guess he's competing with Le'Veon Bell, and he's also competing with Darrell Henderson, a guy that's today the starter. He's already competing with the guy. He's got to take the crown from him if he even gets signed. He's got to show he could outplay him. But Le'Veon Bell and Adrian Peterson seem to be two of the more likely free agents if they were to seek out. In between those two, it's really tough. I think Le'Veon Bell is obviously younger. I think Le'Veon Bell obviously has more in the tank, but he's kind of a drama queen at times. Adrian Peterson, I think he just wants to shut up and play football, show what he's got left. Le'Veon Bell, I think, might have a higher ceiling, but he might come at more of a cost as well. So there's pros and cons to both. Like I said, I'm exploring my options. Who's going to say yes? Who's going to say no? I'm going to make a phone call to each. What are you going to cost? What are you going to cost? Are you even interested? Are you even interested? See what they say. Who knows? There's plenty of options for running backs. None of them are stellar, but we think Adrian Peterson's old at 36. Frank Gore is a walking fossil at 437 years old. He's still in the league looking for a job as well. Rams got options. I personally think if I had to bet money, I think they're just going to roll with Darrell Henderson. But if I could pick what would happen, I would probably pick for them to chase after Le'Veon Bell and Adrian Peterson. But no matter how it turns out, like I said, losing Cam Akers is going to hurt the Rams. It's going to make the Super Bowl road tougher, but it's not going to close the Super Bowl window. You still have Matt Stafford, a top 10 QB. You still have a well-rounded offensive line. You have one of the deepest receiving rooms in the NFL. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, Van Jefferson, Tyler Higbee, Deshaun Jackson, rookie Tutu Atwell. Plenty of guys in their a great mix of plenty of guys in their prime. At the very beginning, Tutu Atwell at the end of their career. Deshaun Jackson has a great blend of players at some points in their career. On defense, we know the bread and butter of Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey. Even guys behind him, Darius Williams, Jordan Fuller, Leonard Floyd. Some of those guys are actually really good, but are in the shadow of Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, so are at times overlooked. They're pretty high-level performing players, in my opinion. And like I said, Raheem Morris stepping in for the defensive coordinator position. Hopefully he could fill in Brandon Staley's spot well. Sean McVay being probably a top 5 head coach, probably in the NFL. They're going to be fine. I think it'll make things tougher and more challenging to win a Super Bowl without Cam Akers, a guy that was on the come-up, but I don't think it's impossible. I don't think they have zero chance now. And who's to say a guy like Adrian Peterson can't fill his shoes pretty well. 4 yards per carry, I think is just enough to take the pressure off of Matt Stafford. He just played with Stafford. Maybe he could call him up. Maybe they have some kind of connection. I don't know if they were buddies or not in Detroit. They played together for 16 games, so I'd figure they'd have some relationship. So if I'm Adrian Peterson, I'm definitely reaching out to Stafford and seeing it's more about who you know. It's all about who you know sometimes in the world, and I think Adrian Peterson hopefully knows Matt Stafford really well, and he can maybe pull some strings and get him over to LA with the contract. You guys tell me, though, do you agree or disagree that the Rams don't necessarily need or have to sign Adrian Peterson, but they should at least consider it and pursue it, make a phone call, see what it's going to cost, see what shape he's in, how's he feeling, is he even in football shape, maybe he wants to retire, who knows? You guys tell me, do you agree, you all for it, all against it, or stuck in the middle like me, where it depends on the circumstances? And referring back to the question in the video, where would I rank Jalen Ramsey? Number 1. I think him and Jair and Xavier Howard are all pretty much on the same par and the same tier. But if you told me I get one corner to pick and put on my team, I'm going to take Jalen Ramsey. Again, can't go wrong with any of those 3 guys. But for me, personally, I'm going Ramsey. You guys tell me, though. Might not be even in your top 5. Who knows? As always, and of course, thank you for watching, guys. 2-minute warning.